Hello, I'm Dr. Nick Sotello, and I'm going to tell you what you absolutely have to do if you have any chance of overcoming destructive anger. So, when you're stuck in a cycle of destructive anger, when your anger is really making a mess of your life, you have to submit yourself to this process that's part of my anger resolution program. And it is something that I've never seen in any other anger management program that I've ever come across. And I've seen lots of anger management programs. I'm trained in several anger management programs. And in my professional career, I've delivered anger management to hundreds of men and young men. And this thing that I'm going to share with you here soon is something that I've never seen be part of the process or the components or the exercises that people might go through in standard anger management. So, if you have an ongoing problem with anger, the reason is that that anger is rooted in a wound that's deep in your heart, that's deep in your soul. And as long as that wound is left unhealed, you're going to continue to have a cyclic problem with destructive anger. It's going to keep coming up. And you might do some things that stave it off for a while. You might reduce some stress here. You might change of scenery, move, get a new job. And those things are important and they can help. But as long as you have that deep-seated wound in your heart and in your soul, that destructive anger is going to come back up again. And that's when it's most frustrating. That's when it's most devastating. When you think that maybe you finally have gotten there and that you're over this and that you've overcome it. And then things start building up little by little again. And next thing you know, you've exploded. Anger has gotten the best of you and you've continued to do damage to your loved ones. And that's really what I think is the most sinister aspect of destructive anger, is that it does incredible damage to the relationships that you need in your life. It does damage to your family members, your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, your friends. And you're not going to get anywhere in this life without powerful relationships. And if you're letting anger destroy those relationships, then it's a one-to-one. You have to overcome your destructive anger in order to stand any chance of repairing or restoring those critical relationships. And that's really one of the primary outcomes of anger resolution, is to overcome destructive anger so that you can restore the critical relationships in your life. If you are any sort of business person, right, and you have a problem with destructive anger, that destructive anger is costing you business. It's costing you sales. It's costing you partnerships. It's costing you opportunities for joint ventures. It's costing you opportunities for promotion, for expansion and growth. And nobody wants to be associated with somebody who has a obvious and significant anger problem. It's a red flag, and people can see it even when you yourself, when you're stuck in the cycle, maybe you don't see it. So what is the key? The key is forgiveness. If you have an ongoing problem with destructive anger, it is almost always due to a wound that you have experienced, and typically somebody else has wounded you. And so what is the pathway out? Well, it's forgiveness, and forgiveness is the medicine to heal that wound. And that forgiveness process has three parts. You got to identify who hurt you. You need to name them. Then you also need to identify and name exactly how that wound has impacted your life. So not only are you forgiving a person, but you're also forgiving them for what the damage was done and how it left your state of being. And then you need to solidify that forgiveness through a process that memorializes it, that's going to be specific and unique to your situation and what your needs are. And that forgiveness process is part of anger resolution. So there it is. That's the key to overcome destructive anger, is that you need forgiveness to heal that deep-seated wound. And that forgiveness is first and foremost for you, right? That forgiveness is what allows you to not let the past have rule over you in your present, in your future. That's really what forgiveness is about when I use it in my anger resolution program. So I hope this spoke to you. And if it did, let me know by leaving a comment in the post where you saw this video. Tell me what you liked most about what you just heard about forgiveness and your major takeaway.